On this side of the screen you'll see the trial ExcelWraps site, and if you've been asked to come here, the chances are that I've set up an account for you. So I'd like you to sign in to the website, and you won't know your username and password, but you can use this lost your password procedure. Type in your email address here and send a request for a username and email, and you'll be given instructions on how to do so. I've actually set up a little test account that I use. It's CTD's, Crash Test Dummies, what it stands for. So I'm going to sign in. So when I sign into the site, I get to see a lot more information. So if you're not authenticated by the site, you don't get to see anything. But this is a little demonstration that I've put in place for a construction company called Blue Sky Building. So if we just go to their launch page here, Blue Sky Building run a number of construction sites, and as an example of our technology, I've had a look at the manager's site safety check. So this is a daily check that's done to make sure that construction sites are safe and operable. Now that form is actually been built in Excel using our ExcelWraps technology and our software ExcelW. So it's basically Excel, as you know, Excel with a few extra functions that are on our ExcelW tab. And using that, I've created a form, and we've used it a number of times. In fact, if I click on the button there, we've actually used it 3 times, so we've done 3 safety checks. And what we can see here is this is a project. There's a job number to go with the project, and then there's a status of this site safety check, a date, time, who's done the work, and the number of corrective actions that have been raised. So if we have a look here, let's just see, we can see that we've got, this is a form. It was for site 3, and you can obviously make them for however many sites you have. It's checking a particular area, so you might want to check, this is obviously different parts of the construction site. They might each need their own separate checks. All these particular checks have been done, so they've been ticked off by the user. And we've also raised 2 corrective actions. So when we raise the corrective action, there is some work to be done, and there's also a target date, and they've been closed out, and in fact this has been already signed off. So what we're saying here is the status shows that this is fully closed out, the check is complete, and no corrective actions are outstanding. They've all been done. The other thing that we can do is there's an attachments tab here, and using this button here you can add, we can't add. The reason we can't add at the moment is because I've done this final signature here and there's a dot on it. That means you can't modify anything. Once the final signature has been done, then nothing can be modified. But perhaps if I go back to one of the open ones, I'll show you this one here. So this is actually open, and if I just have a look at this form. So okay, this is very similar. This is for site 2 this time. All these checks have been done and been ticked off, and they've been signed off at this point here. And at the moment there are no corrective actions, and it hasn't been signed off. So basically it's saying, well, this is still open. There are no corrective actions, so you need to just sign to close. So if we did want to add any media to this, I'll maybe just show you this quickly because we couldn't do it in the previous form because it was closed down. Then you get an opportunity here to add a file. So I'll add this file, open, and I'll add another one actually, just to show you how it works. I'll open this as well, and I'll submit them all, so you can see them going up to the website, and I'll close them down. If this was on an iPad, then from here you could get access, from this dialog you would get access to, instead of adding files on a PC at the moment, you would get access to the tablet device's camera or a smartphone camera as well, so that's quite handy. But here are the 2 pictures, and one is a little notice there. Okay, and let's just go through here and sign this off. So if so this is all activated. Well, let's imagine there was some problem. Let's imagine that there was some trip hazard. Okay, and I put a trip hazard, and then the corrective action is to remove the trip hazard, and the target date, we can set the target date today. Okay, and I will go away, and I can't spell hazard. There we go. And I can say that this action has been done. We remove the trip hazard, and when it's done, watch what happens. At the moment, because we've raised a corrective action and it hasn't been done, this has become inactive. So I can click on here and nothing is happening. But if I close it out, you'll see that the colour of that box has changed from grey to blue, and now I can sign it off. So now it's telling me that we've closed it out and there are no corrective actions. So if I go back to this report here, it's telling me that for site 1, 2 and 3, all of them are closed, and that's job done, I guess. The other thing that I'll show you quickly is that you can show these results in tabular forms, but we've got some numbers here. So I'm also going to display these in a graphical form. So the number of corrective actions will be displayed, I hope, on this chart if I click on there. Okay, so what we've got here is site 1, site 2 and site 3, and it's showing that we have one corrective action there, and we have in fact 2 corrective actions there. So sometimes it's quite useful to show, and we always have this approach, it's sometimes useful to see a tabular display of information, sometimes it's useful to see a chart display of the information too. It's all very easy to set up. This feature here is it's actually called our ExcelWraps reporting feature, and it's a very powerful tool for creating lots of information. For example, you can use it to say, show me any form that's awaiting my signature. So there should be none at the moment awaiting my signature, so there are no. But this is obviously quite useful. If you just come to the system and say, tell me what I need to do, then we've got no live ones because we've closed them all out. So I'm actually looking, we've actually frozen out. So we're going to look at any frozen data. We could also say, just show me forms that I've created. So that would be me. There we go. So the other thing that I've got here is a users tab. And from here, I can add a new user using this button here. I can also edit a user. So if I want to edit this chap here, then I could change any of his details there, and I could also importantly change his roles. So if I want to demote this person, say you're no longer a manager, and I'll leave him as a supervisor, then he will get access to everything that a supervisor gets, but he wouldn't get access to everything that a manager gets. But since I know this chap, I'll just jump out of that without saving, leave him with the manager's privileges. So that's how we manage users. The other thing that I'll show you very quickly, is we have a pricing wrap. So here is there's a setup cost, there's a number of consultancy days for us to help you start creating wraps, and we hope to give you a bit of time and then we leave you to create your own wraps by yourself using our software. And this is the ongoing charge, if you like, for 50 users. If you wanted to have a look at the ongoing charge for 100 users, then that's twice as many. It's a multiplier of 12, and you get some discounting on the per user per month cost. But if we just go down, here's a payment schedule. So what we're saying here is there's an initial cost, then we have some consultancy work. This is the red one here. That's spread over 3 months, which is driven by that. And then we have the green is the ongoing cost. So this is the cost for 50 users, and it's the cost of 50 users per month, basically. So that's an ongoing cost. So that's how the pricing model works. You can play as many tunes on that as you like. So there we have it. I hope that the site gives you I hope that it shows you how easy it is to create forms in Excel and launch them as live electronic forms from our websites. Thanks for listening.